What's going on, everybody? So today I was taking my usual daily run through the park or whatever, just running for distance, whatever. And usually I get my best insights when I'm out running. So today, I was thinking a little bit about something that, has been on my mind for quite some time. So, essentially, a lot of people are, out there in life or whatever, usually most commonly from age 16 to about, age 30. They're looking for their purpose in life or meaning in their life or what they're meant to be doing. And this can manifest in a couple forms. The two main ones are just, what am I meant to be doing? Like, what is my purpose? Like my tangible purpose, Like I'm not good at anything. Nothing really is interesting to me. I don't really know what to do with my life, yada yada. That's one way to look at it. That's one way people are looking. The other one is more of a spiritual thing, like why are we even here? What is the meaning of life? What happens after we die, and stuff of that nature. And so ever since I turned 21, I really struggled with both ends of this question. On the tangent of purpose and meaning, and it's one of the hardest places for us to be in life, because as long as that whole question is unanswered, and as long as we allow that question to go unanswered and to go without being solved, as long as we don't think this through, it's an obstacle in our life, and we can try to run away from it. We can try to run away from it and just not even think about it, not think it through, not fully reflect on it. But it's still going to be there, and it's going to be a problem. It's going to be an obstacle. But essentially, I've kind of come to a place in my life the last couple of months where I realize I kind of have a holistic idea of this. So, straight up, the solution to this is to kind of just like let go of the meaning and purpose of life and existence in general. And I'll explain more about that in a little bit. Essentially, you want to let it go because there is no answer. There's no one global answer to that question. And you can waste your entire lifetime trying to answer that question, and you'll be on your deathbed still with that question unanswered, and your entire purpose in your entire life was trying to figure out what the meaning of life is. I mean, living your entire life to find out what the meaning of life is. Like, that is so empty to me, and I don't think anybody wants to live that way. But that's what's going to happen if you continue to question, like, what is the meaning of life? You may live your entire life and not have any real answers. But if you ever do come to a conclusion, either you'll delude yourself into believing in God or something, and that serving God is like the meaning, or you'll likely come to the conclusion that, there is no general meaning, and if there is, we just aren't capable of knowing, okay? Or you got to invest years and years of your life knowing, and at that point, it's kind of like pointless. And I've been wondering, like, what is the objective meaning of life? And is there life after death? And all these things. What is life? I've been thinking about that since 2012. So that's been, Jesus Christ, like 6 years of my life. I've been wondering about these things. And I realized the more I let that question go on in my head, well, it's good now because I realize it's just it's not a question that can be answered, but it's only driven me farther and farther away from what I actually wanted. So, deep down inside, I just wanted a feeling of fulfillment. I just wanted, a feeling like my life is whole, so to speak. And how do you get this feeling? Because I know a lot of people, especially people who are dealing with depression, anxiety, and all these other issues, because that's where, that's one of the things that, I was dealing with all that as well. All these issues seem to, at least be influenced by, but usually are significantly caused by, this lack of wholeness in your life, this lack of purpose, so to speak. And so what you got to understand is, so first of all, there's no purpose for your entire life. There's only the purpose that you are pursuing in the moment. And this means right now, like minute to minute, what am I focused on? If I'm arguing with people on the internet, my purpose is literally to feed into that energy. That's my purpose. My purpose in the moment is to prove some random person on the internet wrong. Okay? That is the purpose. That is your purpose when you're doing that. Right now, like me right now, my purpose is expressing myself and my ideas and sharing this information with other people. And of course, my hope is that other people can gain insight from this, and it can help open people up to, the path that they need to take in order to feel happy and whole and healthy again. And that's my purpose right now. But in 10 years, I might not be making these videos. So, and I know in 1 hour I'm going to be eating again. I'm probably going to go to the bookstore. So my purpose in that moment is not going to be this. But if I happen to run into somebody who is talking to me and we happen to bring up this subject, that'll be my purpose, But the point is, like, your purpose in this moment is not going to be your purpose the entire life, okay? You have to understand this is very important. For some people, they may not realize why it's so important, but let me explain. The reason why it's so important to understand your purpose is moment to moment rather than your entire life is because that's the obstacle people are trying to get over, and it keeps them stuck because they got this big picture idea of a concept that's actually very small. And the only way you're going to be able to develop like your great high purpose or whatever is if you follow the small path, day by day, step by step, and you develop your skills. Okay, so the best example of this is Arnold Schwarzenegger, and there's many people I could name. Okay, Arnold Schwarzenegger started off as a bodybuilder. Okay, that was his purpose when he was younger. He was an athlete. But we know that these athletes can't keep it up for their entire life. Arnold Schwarzenegger was bodybuilding and this and that until he was like 26 or whatever, 28. He won several world titles in bodybuilding, and then he became an actor. Okay, he can't be the world's top bodybuilder as he gets older, 30s and 40s. But he can move on to his next purpose, which was acting, Terminator and Conan the Barbarian and whatnot. And so he was an actor for a while. Then he became the governor of California. He still did some movies here and there, but he kept, every time he reached the pinnacle of his purpose, he got a little too old to do whatever. He moved on and moved on and moved on. Okay, and some people might think like, oh, that's Arnold Schwarzenegger, he's special. But that's not true. The only reason you say that is because you doubt yourself, you're insecure because of the thought patterns that you developed as you've gotten older. It's a habitual thinking pattern that you've gone into, probably because of the way your parents talk to you and because everyone around you doubts themselves. The majority of people in life are doubt themselves. They're insecure. Most people in this world, they don't believe that they can achieve things. And that's the only reason why most people think the way they do. It's groupthink. It's because everyone around them thinks a certain way, and so they figure, oh, it must be true, But you have to see through that. You have to understand, like, if you really want to be happy in this life, if you really want to live a whole existence, then you're going to have to gain confidence. You're going to have to become open-minded. You're going to have to be optimistic. and you're going to have to be consistent and develop consistency. You need to know that it's all about building skills. Literally everything in this world is habits, okay? It's literally just evolution one way or the other. If you're always arguing with people on the internet, that's a habit that you've built. And the only way you can think that, it benefits me and it benefits the world. You can think that all you want, but that's a lie. You're addicted to it. It's a habit. You've got to break that habit, break that addiction. Literally, all addictions are just extremely strong patterns of habit. Break those habits, and you got to replace them, okay? If you spend all your time watching porn or spend all your time, arguing with people on the internet or whatever it is, you need to start to, try other things, okay? A lot of people, they have this problem where they say like, I just don't know what to do with my life. Like, I'm not good at anything. I don't really have an interest in anything. Well, you have to build the interest. Like, no one was just born like knowing what they want to do in their life. Some people have, kind of just like followed, just lived their life, and then their purpose kind of just fell into their laps, different skills and hobbies and things kind of just came to some people. Other people have to go out and find, just try different things, okay? A problem a lot of people seem to have is that they're so invested in ideas. Like, they're like, I love MMA, I'd love to do that, it looks so cool or whatever, but they never join a class. Or like, I would love to work out, I'd love to get in shape, but they never start to exercise or find a routine or learn how to do basic exercises. Or they're like, I love, healthy food and blah, 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 and that sounds so cool. Or I want to be healthy, I want to reverse the disease, but they never actually take action towards it. And then, of course, a lot of people also have this idea like, I'm just not a motivated person, or I'm not a social person, or I'm just not like an energetic person. But the thing is, there's no such thing as who you are as a static entity, okay? There really isn't. And people are just too ego-based. They're too, identification is what they're all about. Like, I am this, I am that. But you're actually nothing. You're literally just a collection of habits that you developed over time. And so you really have to understand that you can literally create whatever you want in your life. And if you're just antisocial right now, you can slowly, develop social skills over time and get better at talking to people, okay? I had social anxiety for a while, but I fixed that through tonic herbalism, nutrition, and basic psychology, learning about psychology and, focusing on self-improvement and bettering myself. I made a huge transformation since then. But ultimately, you've got to follow the good feelings, and you've got to start to develop appreciation and gratitude. All right. If you're constantly complaining about like things, and you're constantly, living with regrets and thinking about what could have been, and you're dwelling in the past, and you're always like, crying and dwelling over your mistakes or your shortcomings, or you're beating yourself up like, I keep masturbating and I can't stop. Like, this is just, self-defeating behavior, and it's only going to keep you stuck. And some people, they're like, I'm not pessimistic, I'm just realistic or whatever. But, you can be optimistic and always look at the bright side of things, and always try to believe that you can do better and that you can achieve things and do it in a realistic fashion. The fact is, like, you just want to believe that that you're a realist because you don't want to change, and you don't believe you can change. And then when you hear someone like me saying, hey, you can change, you're like, you don't want to believe it because it's going to take effort. What it comes down to is once again, like believing that you can do better for yourself, and then, you know, every day, like letting that be your motivation, your drive, living a life of building habits and, you know, doing a little bit better every single day. Okay. You know, seeing that you're training, everything in life is training. You know, your relationship, you've got to train your relationship skills. You've got to train your mindset. You've got to train your physical body. You got to train your immune system. All these things are all about building habits. It's about building. So in regards to purpose in life, you've got to build your purpose. You've got to build your skills, and over time they'll become your purpose. At the moment, you know, and you'll be like that person who does whatever it is that you're doing, you know. But you know, your purpose in everything. Like, what do I want in life? I want, you know, I want to laugh with my friends, play video games with my friends, just have a good time with my friends. But I also want to, you know, have a successful YouTube channel. I want to make a lot of money and help other people achieve their goals. I want to live in a certain area and, you know, lift a lot of weights and this and that. Knowing what you want and then, like, pursuing it and understanding that, like, that's the closest you're ever going to get to a purpose. And any kind of, like, greater purpose, like, you know, let's say, like, oh, Eminem, you know, he's famous and that's my idea of success. Well, that will come from building your skills and shit. Eminem had to learn how to rap. He had to, or, you know, he had to write his lyrics down. He had to learn how to work with producers and the business aspect of things. He had to pass out flyers and promote himself and these things. He had to build a bunch of skills and practice every day, and then also following his passion, following what he loves. It's all of that. You know, this is so key, and this is what a lot of people, like, seem to overlook. And the bottom line is, like, you know, Kobe Bryant and, you know, like Arnold Schwarzenegger, you know, he had a purpose for a while, and then he outgrew the purpose and had another purpose, outgrew it, and he never stopped, you know. But you see a lot of athletes out there that, you know, they're, like, really, really good, you know, like, I guess Shaquille O'Neal or something, you know, and then they get too old or whatever and they get injured or something, and then you never hear about them anymore because they never went towards that new purpose. I mean, like Michael Jordan, for example, he started to do golfing and this and that. You know, Arnold Schwarzenegger is the best example. He's doing great. But eventually you're not going to be able to do the same purpose anymore. And so you're going to have to, like, pursue something new. You know, create something new for yourself. Build a new set of skills. You know, it's evolution, evolving. And a lot of people just want to, like think about it and try to find it, but they're not actually getting anywhere because they're not trying different things. And they have this permanent idea, like, oh, I'm going to go to college, but I don't know what I want to, you know, get my degree in. I don't know what I want to do. And so they never do anything. Or they just get, like, a degree in some bullshit and never actually use their degree. So, you know, you got to get rid of that permanent thing, that idea of, like, a permanent purpose. And you've got to just start building your skills. You got to just start, you know, appreciating and enjoying your life and, like, creating the life you want to live. And then, you know, whatever you have in life right now, just roll with it, you know, just appreciate it. And if you really aren't enjoying some things, you know, like, let's say your friends suck or your girlfriend is annoying, dude, let that shit go. Like, let them go. Find, you know, replace them. Seriously. You're not doing them any favor, like, wasting their time when you really don't like them. They probably don't like you either. Because if they liked you, they treat you better. You know, you're wasting their time and you're wasting your own. Let them go. You've got to let go of the shit that doesn't align with you in order for you to align with your purpose, in order for you to find the people, places, and things in life that align with your soul, that align with whatever, you know, your good feeling. So, yeah, I mean, so if you know, and then as far as like the spirituality and whatnot and all that stuff, you know, if you're constantly trying to find like an objective, like objective meaning like a factual, scientific, like meaning in life, you know, why am I even here? Like the only facts are that procreation is what our cells are designed to do. Like we're designed to survive. That's literally all. Okay, we adapt to viruses and diseases and illnesses. We adapt to everything. The body creates habits to try to continue to survive. Weightlifting, you just create you lift weights in a way that makes your body feel like it's going to die. Then it makes adaptations to that near-death experience so that it doesn't die next time you do it. You get stronger. You know, that's adaptation. That's how the body like solidifies habits, and its goal is to survive. But your goal should be to like, you know, enjoy your life. The closest you can get to objective, you know, factual meaning in life is procreation. You're designed to fuck and create children, okay? Because the survival of your DNA is the biological meaning of your existence. But we're human beings with a conscious mind, and if you take care of like what you do on a regular basis, what you spend your time on, what you focus on the most, that's going to be your purpose, okay? Literally what you're focusing on is going to become your purpose. Like that's how it is. But that's in this life. As far as like your spiritual purpose and your highest purpose and like, you know, your guardian angel, what they want you to do and what God wants you to do and all this stuff that a lot of people think about. I mean, you can go ahead and try to figure that out, but most likely it's either going to be delusion or falsification, or you're just going to end up spending most of your life asking yourself these questions, you know, and your whole life is going to be about questioning existence instead of actually dealing with the nitty-gritty, you know, appreciating the good and the bad times. You know, you should just be happy to be alive. The fact that you're alive is going to make the bad times feel so much better. You're not even going to recognize them as bad times. Just like, oh, got some shit to take care of, you know, owe some money or whatever, and then you take care of it and it's like, oh, everything's, you know, you'll enjoy paying those debts. But anyway, yeah, I mean, this is very, very important stuff, and I probably kind of just threw all this information into a blender and like gave you guys a information smoothie. Hopefully a lot of people have watched this entire video, and hopefully this has helped some people. I really hope so. I feel like this is a extraordinary thing that I kind of came across recently. So leave your comments and questions down below. Let me know what you think about all this, please. Let me know what you know, what your thoughts are on this. I'll talk to you soon.